there, good evening. My name's John Harris and welcome to Capital Ideas. As you may know, there's actually a magazine called Capital Ideas and it's been around for 5 years. This evening, as it happens, is the magazine's 5th anniversary and we are at a celebration at the Golden Ring Hotel in Moscow. Let's have a look, see what's happening. The Golden Ring Business Hotel in the heart of Moscow. Some of the people who've stayed in this legendary hotel over the years, foreign government delegations, leaders of countries, Russian and international business people, as if it were intended for those married to their work. Tonight, the hotel is happy to welcome its new guests. We're at a birthday party, and here's the birthday boy himself, Capital Ideas magazine, 5 years old today. But, as we all know, publications don't just magically come to life. A huge team of professionals is constantly working on it, and the very heart of the creative process is Editor-in-Chief Sergei Kukhinidze. He's always on the move, always right there in the center of the action. In his line of work, he meets all different kinds of people. It's no wonder that he often sees Moscow through the eyes of foreigners.
Last year, we met with the mayor of Rio de Janeiro, Marcelo Crivella. He's a fairly well-known politician. Over the course of 2 days, we went to all kinds of places together. I worked with him throughout his entire visit to Moscow. He was amazed by everything here. But most of all, he was amazed by the number of CCTV cameras. There's 145,000 of them spread across Moscow. It's an unprecedented number. They're used for monitoring both traffic and security around the city. He said he could only dream about having the same thing in Rio de Janeiro. It would make the city safer as well as quieter. And beautiful too. That's a very interesting point. Mr. Crivella and many other international visitors mentioned that there's a lot to learn from Moscow. This year, the Moscow government held the Smart City Conference, and many attendees expressed that very same idea, that there's a lot to be learned from Moscow.
And there's so much to say about this project. Over the past 5 years, this English language magazine has published 25 issues. They've shared dozens of success stories with readers. They featured interviews with experts as well as information about the latest development trends in Moscow as both a national and international center of finance. And now we'll hear from Sergei Cheryomin, the Moscow government minister and head of the Department for External Economic and International Relations.
At that time, nobody believes that somebody could be interested on the positive news because you know that mass media are nowadays more concentrated on the negative events. And to my mind, that was a very big experience for us in mass media because we are more in the conferences, in the road shows, in the meetings of our business partners. We are not in mass media, but in any case, from all my friends, from all the business partners, nowadays we hear that this edition is one of the best in Moscow. You can find it in the airports, you can find it on the most important international events.
One of the first people to congratulate the magazine's team was Moscow government minister and head of the Department for External Economic and International Relations, Sergei Cheryomin. This anniversary party gathered together many people who at various times have appeared upon the pages of Capital Ideas magazine. These are heads of foreign industry associations that cooperate with Moscow, general managers of international companies operating across Russia, and foreign ambassadors accredited in Moscow. Over these 5 years, the magazine has found its loyal audience, and according to the editorial team, the publication is well trusted. Capital Ideas magazine informs its readers about international companies operating in the Russian capital. And now we're going to talk to the editor-in-chief of the magazine Capital Ideas, Sergei Kukianidze.
Sergei Rivazovich,
Sergei Rivazovich, thank you very much indeed for taking the time to meet with us. Now, your magazine is celebrating its 5th anniversary this year. Let's go back 5 years. Now, why did you decide to create a magazine in a country where everyone speaks Russian? What was the main idea behind this?
People in both the West and the East know very little about Russia, and they know even less about Moscow. There's lots of stereotypes out there. We started this magazine to open people's eyes, so to speak, to dispel some of the stereotypes that exist and to tell our readers about what's really happening in our city.
Tell us more about your creative team. Are your journalists and experts all Russian, or do you have an international team?
We have journalists with an impressive track record. They have experience working for both Russian and foreign publications. They speak foreign languages. They know how to write for international audiences. This is also crucial. And they know their style. Writing in Russian for Russians is one thing. Writing in a foreign language is an entirely different matter altogether.
So here we are in this party, 5 years birthday celebration of the magazine Capital Ideas. There's a few ambassadors here, there's a few important people. Actually, people are celebrating the fact that this magazine has been around 5 years, but it's more than just that. What it is a kind of statement, and they're saying that, okay, here we are, we're in Russia, it's okay to do business here. So congratulations, Capital Ideas, on the 5th anniversary. Okay, and I'm going to talk to the ambassador of Luxembourg, Jean-Claude Knibbelia, about this evening's event. Ambassador, we're here together at this event, 5 years existence of the magazine Capital Ideas. And what does that mean to you?
It's permanence. If you look back to 5 years, 2013, to many people, Russia, Moscow was still something different.
Yeah.
An initiative was taken. I'm very happy to see that it's persevered and developed very well. I appreciate Capital Ideas. I appreciate the staff and the people who pushed this idea.
Can you tell us why you appreciate it? I mean, it's obviously a very different point of view from a lot of our media. I mean, is it a little bit perhaps too positive about Russia, or is it, do you think, sort of closer to the truth of what's actually happening here?
I mean, it obviously has a role to play.
Yeah.
It is a magazine, an outlet that has been created by the city of Moscow.
Yeah.
It's not an independent media, and I don't expect it to be. But I had experience with it, and also some of my European colleagues and friends, and we found that we were always able to give a very honest opinion about their experience in Moscow. So there's no censorship.
And it was printed without being cut or changed.
No, absolutely. So obviously, a media owned by the city of Moscow will not go and criticize unnecessarily. So. But we have the same kind of media in our European countries that do obviously have exactly the same role to play.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Jan Kestentepe is the director of the Russian office of an architectural firm. His company has extensive experience working in the United States, Turkey, Hungary, and other countries around the world. They've completed dozens of large-scale projects such as hotels, shopping malls, and business centers.
At the moment, we have 3 or 4 international projects. One of them in Bodrum, Turkey. We do 4-season hotel and residence. It's a big project now ongoing on. Second one in Montenegro, Chernogore. It's a Ritz-Carlton. It's also high-level hotel and resident project. Third one in Budapest is a residential project. At the moment, I'm talking about ongoing project. And 2 in Russia. One of them is a hotel in Varvarka Street near Park Zaryadi. Actually, you can You can see here the project. We just finished design, concept, and waiting for more information from hotel operator to make inside to interior. It's on construction at the moment. And the second one is a hotel. Second one is a shopping mall design in Moscow. It's also under construction. It's not far from the center. It's near Lokomotiv Stadium. It's a big shopping mall. And one more project in Russia will start soon. It's in Kazan. It's a luxurious housing Жилой complex near the center. So let's say we have 3 projects in Moscow and some internet. Of course, there are many other projects.
Jan first came to Moscow on business only for a week, and then he stayed. For the past 15 years, he's been living and working in the Russian capital, and he talks with great pride about how rapidly the place is changing, as if he himself were a Muscovite.
Of course, nothing is nowhere is perfect. Every city has advantages and disadvantages. Most important to see the good points. If you live somewhere, you have to love the place. Mostly see the positive points of the city. Not to concentrate on the negative points of the city. I lived in different cities. I lived in London a long time. I studied there. I lived in Paris, and I travel a lot around the world. I work in international business. I've seen mostly all around the world. This town is one of the best. But every other city has some good points and the bad points. But mostly my friends and colleagues, they love Moscow.
Let me present to you Alexander Vicharov, one of the founders of Big Asia TV channel. Good evening, Alexander.
Good evening.
Now, you're here at this fabulous birthday party. Now, what does the magazine Capital Ideas actually mean to you?
I think it's not just a magazine about money. It tells its readers about how to do business in our wonderful city.
You're a businessman, right? You know what's going on here. Now, I've heard and read that Moscow is becoming some kind of hub for all of Asia, for the eastern part of the planet. And that's despite everything that's going on these days. Poor relations, politically, economically, sanctions, and all the unpleasant international relations and so on. Now, in your opinion, with your experience, what is really happening?
The pivot towards Asia is the right move to make. Resources are more accessible there, and there's fewer roadblocks than there were before.
So Moscow is like a link between the East and the West?
These days, the world is overflowing with bad news. Whatever channel you switch on, whatever show you watch, there's nothing positive at all. Our channel shares success stories about people who've actually achieved something. We tell stories not merely from Russia, but from other countries as well. Our channel covers 49 countries. There is a trend towards integration with Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, and Armenia. Russia is in the process of rediscovering Asia, and we are bringing to light a lot of new things. There's a lot we didn't know.
So Russia, and especially Moscow, where we are right now, is becoming a new center of international relations between the East and the West. As a businessman from Moscow, what do you think about that?
We are trying to regain our investment appeal, and we are learning to do business better. It's become easier to create something, but it's also become harder to make money.
Well, that's it. Evening's over. I hope you've enjoyed our program about the magazine Capital Ideas. Until we meet again. Bye-bye.